Hi everybody, John here from No Joke NHL. It's Thursday, January 31st, here with our daily NHL Betting Report. Got a lot of things going on today, so I'm going to keep this relatively brief. We have 9 games on the card. I'm not really seeing a lot of sides that jump out here to me. I was looking at them last night, trying to come up with something, and I'm not really finding too many. I am on 2 totals today, but I'm going to run down the whole card. Before I get started with that, I definitely want to thank everybody for the buzz with these videos. Last year I was averaging maybe about 20 to 30 views on each one of these. This season, totally eclipsing that. I mean, 200 plus views on some of these videos. So I definitely appreciate the support. I have a lot of fun doing this, and I'm glad people are getting something out of it. It makes it all worth it to me. So again, thanks to all the followers and all the people watching these videos. So let's get right to the card. We have Pittsburgh Penguins at the New York Rangers. Very solid matchup, of course. Two teams that everybody has predicted to go to the Eastern Finals or come out of the East and represent for the Stanley Cup. And we have the Rangers on home ice, a -115 favorite, comeback -105 on the Penguins. If you jumped on this early last night, you probably could have got Penguins at a little bit of plus money, +105, +110. I know some people that are on them that I respect, and certainly can't fault them for that. Rangers, certainly schedule makers have hated them so far. They've basically played Boston twice, now Pittsburgh twice, Philadelphia twice, and so the Rangers certainly getting the worst of it schedule-wise so far. They're starting to get their sea legs underneath of them with the addition of Nash and some other players, and there's been talk of Tortorella maybe splitting up that top line because the other lines are just basically kind of sitting back and watching, seeing what Nash and Del Zotto can do and Gaborik can do. And that's not good for team chemistry either, because if teams can shut down that top line, then of course you'd be shutting down the Rangers. So no real feel for me on the side here. Like I said, people I know are and respect are on Pittsburgh, and I certainly can't fault them for that. I'm going to take a little poke here at the total. It's lined at 5.5 with the under at -120. I'm going to go with the over 5.5. These two teams scored 9 goals between them. The first matchup that they had. I'm not saying they're going to duplicate another 9-goal putout, but anytime when we're dealing with Pittsburgh, pucks can go in the net, and so I'm kind of looking for a game that should be in the neighborhood of a 4-3, 4-3, 4-2 kind of game, something like that. So I'm going to take a chance on the over at even money, over 5.5 +100. Buffalo Sabres at the Boston Bruins. We have the Bruins as a prohibitive -180 favorite, and why not? They really haven't done anything wrong either. Been cruising through the East and knocking down all comers. Buffalo showed some sparks here and there, but certainly not a team that's going to be there in the long run, in my opinion. And with that, with Boston being priced that high, puck line on Boston -1.5 +170, a little short for my liking to jump on them there. Certainly couldn't fault anybody for doing that if they got on it, but like I said, I usually stay at like a 180 threshold, +180 threshold. I usually don't go below that. Like I said, I really don't like laying, taking a prohibitive favorite, such as the Penguins, the other night against the Islanders, over 200 favorite. And they don't even cover the puck line. Nothing makes me feel worse than that when I jump on a team that's a big favorite. I'm getting a horrible, crappy return on the puck line, and then they don't even win the game. Definitely makes me mad. Should make you mad too. So, like I said, I stay off those type of situations. But if that's your thing, then like I said, Boston on the puck line would make some sense. But like I said, priced a little too low for me. This game's also lined at 5.5 with the under to 135. No real feel here. We're probably going to see Rask again for the Bruins. Don't have a report yet for the Sabres. Islanders and the Devils. We have the Devils on home ice -155. Comeback on the Islanders +135. Totals here set at 5.5 with the under to a heavily juiced -145. These two teams played to a 2-1 New Jersey victory on opening day, and these teams do generally slug it out. have tight affairs, but minus 145, a little heavy on the juice here for this. And like I said, the Islanders, one thing about them, they certainly have exceeded expectations. They've exceeded mine, certainly exceeded the odds makers' expectations that had them over 100 to 1 to win the Stanley Cup. And I'm not saying they're now in line to win the Stanley Cup, but certainly a team that's lined over 100 to 1 to win the Cup, certainly you think would be a pushover, and they certainly have, with their winning record so far, including knocking off the Penguins the other night on Pittsburgh ice, certainly somebody to be at least respected in the short term. So that being said, the price on them plus 135 a little short to accept here, so I'm going to back off and not do anything and pass in this game. St. Louis Blues at the Columbus Blue Jackets. We have the Blues at Columbus laying 170 with comeback on Columbus at plus 150. Puck line on St. Louis minus 1.5 plus 175. The game here totaled at 5. The over at minus 135. Under at plus 115. Again, with that total right on the 5. Not really interested in laying the juice either way. One thing about the Blues, Chicago and San Jose certainly getting a lot of the early press, and why not? The Blackhawks finally lose in a shootout last night, and San Jose still perfect. But the St. Louis Blues, if you've watched their games, certainly a team to be reckoned with out there, and the odds makers certainly realize it. But St. Louis definitely stepped up their offense from last year. They were averaging about 2.5 goals a game last year. Now they're averaging over 3. I think it's almost a whole goal improvement for them, and so definitely a force to be reckoned with as we go through this season here. That being said, their puck line, like I said, at plus 175, probably will fall during the day. So the Blues on the road, a little steeply priced, but then again, I'm not sure I could really trust Columbus, with any type of confidence, especially against, like I said, a top tier team in the St. Louis Blues. Interesting matchup in Toronto. We have the Washington Capitals and the Toronto Maple Leafs, and certainly Washington has played a little under expectations, but that was somewhat expected because new coach, new system, things like that. We have a tough time. Braden Holtby been a mere mortal so far, so they've been going with Neuver, and Neuver's been doing somewhat of an okay job. They've actually got some wins under Neuver. They took a 2-0 lead at Ottawa the other night, only to cough up and lose 3-2. So kind of a disappointing loss for them there. But I see the Capitals getting nothing but better. Toronto, like I said, looked at times a little listless and a little tired. They did get the overtime win the other night. But this game is lined at a pick'em, and if I had to pick one of these teams, I'd probably go with the Washington Capitals here. Like I said, a team that I'm looking to start making a move on the improve. Just whether or not it happens tonight, I'm not really sure. So if I was leaning anyway, I'd probably go Washington, but probably not enough to get me to the window. Unless maybe I see a little more interest coming in on Washington, I'll probably jump on the puck line and take a chance with that later. I would tweet accordingly if I make that move. Winnipeg at Florida, and the Winnipeg Jets, a road minus 120 favorite here, come back even on the Panthers. And Panthers have just been, like I said, god awful this year. They're having injury problems. Their offense is horrible. They have Jose Theodore in goal, who can be sometimes brilliant, but then sometimes just let in a whole flurry of pucks. We've got the Winnipeg Jets that are, a decent squad, but I'm not sure they can be trusted here as a road favorite. We have a total of 5.5 with the under at minus 115. Again, no real feel here. I would probably lean towards the under as the way this juice is going, but definitely not enough to get me to the window here. And, certainly couldn't take the Jets with any type of confidence on the puck line, even though it very, very well may come through. Next, we have Colorado Avalanche at the Calgary Flames, and the Flames are a minus 160 favorite on home ice. And Colorado, somebody tweeted out yesterday, Colorado, the odds makers are lining them as the worst team in hockey, and frankly, they just may be. They can be decent at times, but they certainly have not showed it. They lost last night 3-0 at Vancouver, and now they get right back at it with the Calgary Flames. And so you would have to lean to the Flames. However, the minus 160 is a little high price for a team that really hasn't done much to warrant that, other than, like I said, so this may be actually a slight value spot for the Colorado Avalanche if you can pinch your nose long enough to get to the window and actually get this one down. But like I said, this was one of the things I talked about in the last video. So now that we have a little body of work and we're starting to see teams that are really excelling and teams that are looking really bad, the odds makers are going to start lining accordingly, and this certainly looks like one. I mean, Calgary to be a minus 160 favorite. If this was opening day, I'd probably see Calgary here at minus 130, minus 140. So the value seems to be in the Avalanche here. Certainly not guaranteeing a win here, but if you're looking for a value spot play, the Colorado may be your answer here. We have 5.5, the total, the under at minus 130. Not really sure what to expect here. Like I said, I really don't trust Kiprusoff. Varlamov, I'm not sure who's going to be in goal tonight with the back-to-back. Haven't really checked the daily face-off. It was most of them were unconfirmed that I saw so far. So, like I said, any value is probably on Colorado, but definitely not enough to get me to the window here. Edmonton at San Jose. San Jose Sharks, everybody knows, are undefeated. They're on home ice here, laying $2 to the Edmonton Oilers at plus 170. Again, I'd probably have to say the line value would be on Edmonton here, as the bookmakers looking to recoup some of their losses on the people that have rode the Sharks all the way through, and you may just be rewarded here. Looking at the stats here, both of these teams really shoot the puck a lot. I was looking at in the first period alone, both these teams average over 10 shots a goal each, and they give up 10 shots a goal in the first period, and actually most of the periods I was looking at. And so I'm going to take a little flyer here on the over 5.5 plus 105 or minus 105. Excuse me. The under is at minus 115. Like I said, with all those shots flying around, maybe some goals will go in, and we'll have that going on. And like I said, any line value would be on Edmonton here. Maybe worth a poke if more Sharks money comes in and we can get Edmonton in the neighborhood of plus 180, or even if they stay here, the money stays relatively the same. As long as it doesn't fall, I would probably maybe take a small poke at Edmonton later. I may tweet that out. Final game on the card, Nashville Predators at the Los Angeles Kings. Predators really just a listless effort. Kind of joking around on Twitter that maybe it was the Nashville Predators Wives Carnival in action against the Phoenix Coyotes. But the Predators with the injury bug, they're trying to deal with the key losses on personnel, and just really not putting together an effort. Facing the Los Angeles Kings, defending champions, who really haven't been that stellar themselves. Kings minus 155 on home ice. This game is lined at 5, flat 110 both ways. Can't really trust the Kings myself at minus 1.5 plus 195. They're generally a low-scoring team with quick, and they were last year. They covered the under 5. They had a winning record to the under 5. Again, this is a game I would probably lay off, although probably, believe it or not, the line value, again, on the Predators here, just because they've been so awful and people just tend to remember the last thing they've seen from a team. And, of course, any sharp handicappers know that basically, you're never as bad as your last blowout, and you're certainly not as good as your last crushing of any opponent. So that brings us to the end of the card here. Like I said, I'm officially on the 2 overs that I listed. The over 5.5 at even up in New York with the Rangers and Penguins, and over 5.5 minus 105 in San Jose with the Edmonton Oilers and the San Jose Sharks. And I may add a play or two as we go through the card. Again, I appreciate everybody watching these videos and the interest and the positive comments. Like I said, it makes it all worth it for me. And with that, pass videos along, tell your friends No Joke NHL, and let's keep making money.